Tonight, an Indigenous man kicked in the head by a police officer speaks out.
It makes no sense.
An investigation found the officer showed a shocking lack of judgment. Why the constable won't be criminally charged. More danger and more delays for Canadians desperate to get out of Sudan.
A Turkish flight came under fire.
And the quick-thinking 13-year-old who saved a school bus full of kids.
I don't care! Someone call 911!
This is The National with Asha Tomlinson.
Thanks for being with us. Ian is away. Tonight, we're hearing from an Indigenous man who was badly injured during an altercation with Edmonton police. It happened more than 2 years ago, but there's a new development that has his family calling for accountability. Pacey Dumas was a teenager when he was kicked in the head during an arrest and needed emergency surgery. Dumas was never charged. Now, a scathing new report says prosecutors should consider charging the officer, but that's not happening. And as Julia Wong shows us, the family is demanding justice.
Pacey Dumas says he's still traumatized after a violent encounter with Edmonton police more than 2 years ago.
We're over here grieving every day on my anxiety and everything.
Dumas was 18 years old when he was arrested just outside his house. Police say they were called for a fight nearby involving someone with a knife. Dumas was on the ground. Then a witness says an officer kicked Dumas in the face, as if you're kicking like a soccer ball. His injuries so severe, part of his skull was removed, replaced with a piece of metal. No knife was found on Dumas, and Dumas was never charged.
If I see a police vehicle, it gives me anxiety, or if I just see an officer walking by, because what they did to me, of course I'm not going to trust them.
We want justice. We're all hurting.
Alberta's Serious Incident Response Team investigates when police may have caused injury or death. It recommended prosecutors consider charging the officer, saying he showed a shocking lack of judgment and disregard for Dumas's life. But the Crown Prosecution Service is not moving forward with charges, saying they did not meet the standard for prosecution and a reasonable likelihood of conviction cannot be met.
To have it effectively shoved under the carpet is insulting, offensive, and simply wrong.
This criminologist says the report is scathing, and he worries about the long-term impacts.
This has capacity to erode public trust and confidence in the police.
These types of files, this specifically affects the community healing, but we are asking for people right now to trust the process.
For Dumas, the pain of the incident was made even worse. Last year, his brother Blair took his own life. The family says Blair, who witnessed the attack on his brother, could never get over it.
Because he thought he failed.
Julia, this family's fight isn't just about Pacey.
That's right, Asha. They want to see reform to this whole process, saying there should be a way to appeal the Crown's decision in a case like this. They've also filed a civil lawsuit against Edmonton's police chief and other officers. And as for the officer directly involved, he is on leave with pay, and the force will be conducting its own professional standards investigation.
Julia Wong, thank you. If you or anyone you know is in distress, help is available through Talk Suicide Canada. Call 1-833-456-4566 or text 45645. And if it's an emergency, call 911. Tonight, the Minister of Foreign Affairs confirms another 2 Canadian evacuation flights are underway in Sudan. But with the latest ceasefire unraveling, Evan Dyer shows us just how dangerous those flights have become.
Surrounded by looting and fighting, Canadian evacuees at Wellington Air Base in the desert north of Khartoum face tough conditions.
No electricity, temperature over 40 degrees, and it's just been not easy. As I said, I've been here since yesterday, but other people, this is day 3 or 4 for them.
Sophia Mustafa from Ontario, her mother and 89-year-old blind grandmother arrived there on Tuesday.
The British Army are the ones that have been providing food, water, and anything else that people need. Like, they've been really, really helpful. They help people with their bags, shuttling back and forth.
Everybody else flew their people out. We just started to see Canadian flight yesterday, and there was only 2 of them. And today they didn't show up.
We had planned for 2 flights to leave this morning, but the situation on the ground remains volatile, and one of our planes experienced a mechanical issue which has been resolved. A Turkish flight came under fire.
The Turkish army released pictures of a Hercules transport with holes in the wing and fuselage. Despite the hostile airspace, Canadian evacuation flights resumed, making a nighttime landing at the airbase. But officials say the window for air evacuation is closing. Despite the ceasefire extension, Sudan's army and the rival paramilitary group known as the Rapid Support Force continue to fight, with reports of tank fire and airstrikes in the capital. So Canadian officials are preparing to shift to an overland route, driving the remaining evacuees over 800 kilometers to Port Sudan on the Red Sea. At Port Sudan, 2 Canadian ships are waiting. Many people have escaped Khartoum overland, but the UN says there are 22 roadblocks on the way to Port Sudan, and there are reports both sides are stealing vehicles and fuel. Evan Dyer, CBC News, Ottawa.
The deadliest wave of Russian missile strikes in nearly 2 months struck several Ukrainian cities, killing at least 25 people. But Briar Stewart spoke to a Ukrainian military advisor who says his country is already going on the offensive.
From the rubble of this 9-story building, emergency crews pulled out body after body. A Russian missile slammed into it in the early morning hours, killing more than 20 people, far from the front lines. Sergei Lebitsky says all of his neighbors are now gone. We settled here in 1993 when the house was first built, he says. We were all as one. They're all gone now. The city of Dnipro was also hit overnight. A mother and her 3-year-old child was killed when their house was struck, and another missile hit this storage facility. Russia says it was striking Ukrainian military targets with precision missiles and that they all hit their intended targets.
There's no military infrastructure in that city. There's no military bases or airfields. It's just peaceful citizens who were killed in their sleep. Yuri
Sak is an advisor to Ukraine's Ministry of Defense. He says the country has been preparing for its long-awaited counteroffensive for months, and only a few commanders in Ukraine know the full battle plan.
Things have already begun to happen, because we often say that counteroffensive is not an event that happens at the blow of the whistle. Counteroffensive is a very complex military operation that consists of a larger number of smaller operations. Some of them are already underway.
Sak says Ukraine still needs more air defenses and wants the West to supply the country with F-16 fighter jets in order to give its military the upper hand over Russia. Ukraine is training thousands of soldiers as it pushes to take back the land Russia controls in the south and in the east. For months, its troops have been fighting over the now decimated city of Bakhmut. A huge number have been killed on both sides.
Sometimes in the trenches you have to hide behind the dead body. Doesn't matter Ukrainian or others. It's the only way to survive.
But he and other soldiers vow they will keep fighting in the pivotal battles to come.
So, Briar, the Ukrainian advisor you spoke to, he hinted that part of the Ukrainian counteroffensive is already underway, right?
And there are a few things that Ukraine has been doing. It's been targeting Russian supply lines both in Russia and on land it occupies. And there are also signals that Ukrainian forces have pushed further south into Kherson, where Russia has concentrated some of its forces and built up defensive positions. And I can also tell you that when speaking with Ukrainian journalists, they say it's much harder to get access to certain frontline areas now. And they believe it's because Ukraine doesn't want to give away any of its specific battle plans.
All right, Briar, thank you.
You're welcome.
The crew of the HMCS Edmonton has returned to Canada after a 2.5-month-long deployment to combat drug smuggling in the Pacific. It was a U.S.-led operation and a successful one. A drug smuggling vessel was intercepted earlier this month, and about $49 million worth of cocaine was seized. Documents obtained by CBC News show a building in Old Montreal had a long record of fire safety violations, starting years before 7 lives were lost in a fire last month. The infractions include a lack of smoke detectors and working smoke alarms and inadequate signage for emergency exits. There's no indication they were ever addressed. A First Nations police force in Quebec is facing growing criticism about what happened the night 8 migrants drowned in the St. Lawrence River. As Jorge Barrera explains, there are calls for more police transparency.
You can see the steeple.
Akwesasne lawyer Keith Gordon lists the times community members contacted police to report hearing shouts along the St. Lawrence on a tragic night in late March.
As we get onto the territory known as Snai, Quebec, that's where you hear cries for help around midnight. And again, cries for help were heard around 3 a.m.
Later, it would be discovered 8 migrants drowned, believed to be trying to cross into the U.S. 911 calls that night went to the Akwesasne police in Canada. Now, some community members are questioning the response.
They say they're transparent, but there's so much information that is slow to come out, is only revealed after the community puts it on Facebook. A couple of days.
Police Chief Sean Deluge said officers responded immediately using infrared and night vision to scan the river, but found nothing.
It wasn't somebody screaming in distress for help. It was just shouting, like could have been anything. You know, people, inebriated, kids outside.
In the following days, the bodies of 2 families, including children, would be found.
I saw the press conference where
Chrissy Jacobs runs a daycare in Akwesasne and says many community members believe police could have done more that night.
I would love for there to be an independent review, because right now it seems like Sean Delude doesn't have a whole lot of accountability to the community of Akwesasne.
The police chief says the force did request Quebec's police watchdog to review the matter.
It was deemed by them that there was no reason to pursue an investigation.
Good for him. He feels like he did nothing wrong, but it doesn't feel good for us. It doesn't feel good for those people who felt like maybe lives could have been saved.
Jacob says community members plan to push the issue until they get a full account of what happened that night. Jorge Barrera, CBC News, Akwesasne Territory.
A new offer is on the table for striking federal workers, but that's not stopping them from hitting picket lines right across the country. Despite demonstrations like this one in Quebec, the two sides say they are heading back to the bargaining table over the weekend. So far, the main sticking point has been wages. The last known offer by the government was 9% over 3 years. The union was asking for 13.5%, but says it has come down, though it's not saying by how much. The Prime Minister is still getting some heat for traveling to the U.S. to promote Canada's labour market without landing a deal with federal workers back home. David Thurton now with how he's justifying the trip and why some aren't buying what he's selling.
The Prime Minister talked up Canada to its southern neighbour.
Let's talk about meeting this moment. What Canada can be for the U.S. and what we can be together for the world.
Telling a full room in New York how Canada attracted the second largest automaker in the world. Volkswagen chose this city in Ontario to pump out millions of electric vehicle batteries annually after Canada offered it billions in subsidies.
There are places in the United States that were putting up way, way more money than we put on the table to try and get that gigafactory.
What sealed the deal, Trudeau says, a low-emission electricity grid, a well-educated workforce, and strong labor regulations. Even though the cost of doing business in Canada can be higher.
The lithium produced in Canada is going to be more expensive because we don't use slave labor.
But while the Prime Minister was talking about labor standards, the opposition accused him of taking a break during a massive strike back in Canada.
We know that the Prime Minister is not used to hard work, but can he at least pretend like he's trying?
While the Prime Minister is smoozing with billionaires, bankers, and taking selfies with Hollywood stars, 155,000 civil servant workers are on day 10 of their strike.
Trudeau and his UN ambassador both defended the trip.
This is an important role that Canada can and must play on the world stage. I'm glad to be here to do that over the past couple of days.
It's where the United Nations is. It's where it's one of the great business capitals of the world. Prime Minister of Canada should be here regularly.
Warranted or not, Trudeau still faces questions about the merits of his travels and what this trip actually achieves. To that, he says, this trip was about showcasing what Canada has to offer and working with international partners to solve global problems. David Thurton, CBC News, New York.
Next week, Trudeau will be heading to the UK for the King's coronation. And when he arrives, Charles will already hold a new honorary title. As Akwesasne tells us, the head of the royal family is now head of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Royal salute!
A warm welcome at Windsor Castle as King Charles accepted the role of Commissioner-in-Chief of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, a largely ceremonial position.
I decided to issue you MP 150 2023 to mark your coronation.
The monarch received a special RCMP officer's sword featuring a maple leaf for each province and territory in Canada.
It's feeling great.
Crafted to mark the 150th anniversary of the Mounties, a force that has been linked to the British monarchy since Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee.
That connection has been there in a very durable way, signifying tradition and honor and respect.
The king was also greeted by Noble, gifted to him by the RCMP earlier this year.
Some of the horses we were showing you were a little big or a little tall.
Noble will join other horses from the Royal Mews in the coronation procession. 5 RCMP officers will ride ahead of the royal couple from Westminster Abbey to Buckingham Palace. The Mounties have been there for every coronation since 1904.
Incredibly proud to represent not only our organization, to represent all of Canada.
Beyond the big day next week, Noble may appear again.
She's ready and willing to take on the job of trooping the color with the king riding.
Just like Burmese, the Canadian black mare so beloved by the late Queen that she rode her for 18 straight birthday celebrations.
Burmese was born and bred in the province of Saskatchewan, and Noble was in fact named by a young boy from the province of Saskatchewan.
Noble perhaps set to carry on for her predecessor in a show of Canadian continuity as Charles takes the reins of the Commonwealth and the British monarchy. Akwesasne, CBC News, Windsor.
And we will have much more on the King's coronation in the coming days. Adrian and Ian will be in London to bring you the National all next week, including Adrian's exclusive interview with Princess Anne on Monday. All of it leading to her brother's coronation on Saturday. Special coverage starts bright and early, 4 a.m. Eastern. With the cost of living so high, some pet owners are facing a heartbreaking choice. Shelters say more and more pets are being surrendered. Ithel Musa looks at the problem and what's being done about it.
When it comes to pets, many owners will admit their companions are part of the family. But an increasing number of people are surrendering their pets, according to experts, as households struggle financially to make ends meet.
We're at a crisis breaking point right now. It went from we're concerned, we're seeing more animals coming in, to sounding the alarm bells.
Shelters say there's also been a drop in adoptions as the price of pet food, supplies, and veterinary care inches higher and higher. An example from earlier this month is Max the dog. His story made headlines in Toronto when he was found abandoned in a park. A note left by his owner stated they couldn't afford to look after him after losing their job and apartment. Max has since been adopted to a new home.
So many people are teetering on that very fine line of being able to afford living month to month.
Nicole Fry's organization helps connect people with free pet food as times for some become more desperate.
It could be the difference between you eating or your pet eating or your pet having to be given up. So we definitely want to step in before somebody faces that decision.
Surrendering a pet, although hard, is a decision that some are being forced to make.
What is it? What is it?
The Ottawa Humane Society is waiving its surrender fees so that the heartbreaking move hurts a little less.
Inflation is right now creating a lot of concerns for pet owners, and there's some who are simply not able to keep their pets, and we just want to make something that is already a really tough time just a little bit easier.
Animal welfare experts say some organizations are also helping subsidize expensive vet fees so pets and their owners can remain together. Idil Musa, CBC News, Toronto.
A 7th grader is being hailed a hero tonight for his quick thinking and actions on a moving school bus.
Someone call 911. I don't care. Someone call 911.
How he steered a bus full of kids to safety. Next. Working out with the Canadian nicknamed the Moose.
How long have you had that nickname, Moose?
It's not the most original nickname in the world.
What it takes to be the world's strongest man. And the iceberg that needs no introduction.
I was really happy to see it, of course, but clearly it was a lot more happy to see me.
We're back in 2. Wellington Street, the street in front of Parliament Hill in Ottawa, is open again to vehicles, 15 months after the truck convoy protests.
Better late than never. What else are you going to say? They should have opened this a long time ago.
I'm happy. I guess it'll be easier for traffic coming in the city and for the bikes as well. It's great.
It was totally blocked by the protests, you'll remember, for about a month last year. Politicians then debated its future, if, when, and how to reopen it. The area still may become part of the parliamentary precinct, making Hill Security responsible for it rather than Ottawa Police. A 13-year-old in Michigan helped avoid a disaster on the road. He was on the way home when his school bus driver suddenly passed out. And as Paul Hunter shows us, what happened next was caught on surveillance video.
At this point, moving down a roadway in the suburbs of Detroit in a school bus packed with dozens of children, the driver had collapsed. The bus was beginning to veer into oncoming traffic, and panic on board began to explode. From 5 rows back, cue 13-year-old Dylan Reeves, who remarkably grabs the steering wheel, puts his foot on the brake, and brings the bus to a stop.
Someone call 911. Now.
The driver is now recovering in hospital.
I don't care. Someone call 911.
In my 35 plus years of education, this was an extraordinary act of courage and maturity on his part.
School officials and countless others now hail Dylan Reeves for saving the day and lives.
And you would think in the middle of this panic, you would just jump on the brake. He had the wherewithal to push it slowly, likely in anticipation that the bus was full of passengers.
Dylan's parents say he's overwhelmed with the attention.
We are very, very proud. I mean, this is overwhelming for all of us.
Father Steve and Mother Irita.
And to do something like this just fills my heart. It makes my heart skip a beat to even watch that video.
His mom did, however, have one key question.
I asked him, Dylan, how did you know what to do? How did you know how to drive that bus? And he said, I watch her do it every day.
It evidently paid off. He's only in grade 7, but he's a good driver, says his dad. So too says everyone else on that bus. Paul Hunter, CBC News, Washington.
Wow, that is amazing. As efforts continue tonight to try to get Canadians out of Sudan, conditions in the country are moving from bad to worse. Coming up, how did Sudan get to this point? We'll take a closer look at the power struggle fueling the fighting. And movie makers look to the future and wonder where you'll be watching.
We got out of the habit of going to the movies, and even our grandparents learned how to stream.
how they're trying to bring audiences back to the theater. The National takes you deeper into the stories shaping our world. Next. The conflict in Sudan started almost 2 weeks ago. Two armed factions took a struggle over power and influence to the streets, destroying homes, hospitals, and lives. Staying in hotspots like the capital Khartoum now means facing thirst, hunger, or violence. But escape is also dangerous, and for most citizens of Sudan, there's no foreign airlift coming to save them. To break all of this down for us, we're joined by Khalid Madani, Associate Professor of Political Science at McGill University. He's in Montreal. And in Toronto is Dr. Samantha Nutt, President and founder of War Child Canada. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Professor Madani, I want to start with you. I know you have been trying to get your mom near the border in Egypt and out of Sudan. How is she doing?
Like thousands of, or actually tens of thousands of Sudanese, she had to flee the capital and take a bus that across the desert for 18 hours, a very treacherous road. She's finally arrived about 2.5 hours from the Egyptian border. And we're trying as much as we can to try to find transportations and also try to get her through the border to safety. And like thousands of others on the border of Egypt, there's a great blockage. Thousands are waiting there without food or water or medical supplies. That's extremely important for so many people. So right now she's safe, but you know, we're like so many thousands of Sudanese families trying very hard to get her to complete safety, and of course to try to get her next to me here as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and you know, like you said, there are thousands in this position trying to do exactly what you're doing. You still have family in the city. How are they doing? What's going on with them?
Well, it's a huge humanitarian crisis. I have many family in the city, not only immediate family, but many relatives, first cousins throughout the city. And we're all trying to actually persuade them to leave. Many of them either don't want to leave or just do not have the finances and the opportunity. But most of all, of course, time is running out for so many because of not only the lack of food supplies and medicine, but also even if one can afford to buy the food that's available, there's no way to access cash. There's no way to actually buy anything in the market, not to mention, of course, the prices have skyrocketed. And so it's a very dire situation.
Sure, I mean, I can think of the difficulty, the stress, the anxiety. Samantha, you are hearing stories there of people trying to escape this conflict, right? And we want to get to the heart of just how this unfolded. How did we get here? Can you briefly explain to us?
Well, basically what has happened is a few weeks ago, these two generals who had been previously aligned, one comes from the Darfurian region, Hemeti is what he's commonly known as, and he is in charge of the rapid security forces, and then you have the Sudanese army, and that's under General Burhan. And the two had a falling out. The falling out actually happened quite some time ago, but now it has blown into full-on warfare, and particularly in Khartoum. But this is really the first time in recent history, anyway, where we've seen such active fighting in an area as densely populated as Khartoum. Khartoum has 5 million people living within it, and so the fact that these two are fighting one another, that the Sudanese army is deploying their jets, for example, that they are bombing, and in a city as intense in terms of population intensity as Khartoum, that level of engagement, that level of destruction means that you have thousands upon thousands of people who are at risk. And as Professor Madani mentioned, now you've got the disruption of all of the supply chains as well. So everywhere across the country, but including in Khartoum, people are running out of fuel, they're running out of food, they're running out of access to clean drinking water, they have no electricity. And so these are some of the challenges that we are beginning to see, remembering that this was a country that was already dealing with severe humanitarian challenges.
Yeah, and everything is just happening so rapidly when you think of the ripple effect as well. There are other countries involved in this. How does Russia and the war in Ukraine factor into it?
Russia factors into it with respect to the Wagner Group, the mercenary group that is very closely linked to Putin. And very specifically, of course, Wagner since 2017, during the previous regime of Omar Bashir, had actually won concessions, gold concessions, to mine gold. So they have a number of front companies that actually smuggle gold from Sudan to Russia through Syria. Importantly, for this present conflict, they have, since that time period and to the present day, supported Hemeti by financing him and protecting his own gold mines. So it's a partnership over basically securing gold mines in Sudan. It's the third largest country in Africa with gold exports. 60% of that is actually smuggled outside the country. And you can imagine the amount of, it's I think approximately 1.6 billion estimated that leaves the country. And most of it goes into the coffer of the Wagner Group linked to Putin, which of course is now financing the war in the Ukraine. And so that relationship is very direct.
And of course, Samantha, it's not just Russia. You also have China. You have several other countries involved. Why are so many countries interested in Sudan?
Well, Sudan has a very strategic geographical positioning as well in terms of being on the Red Sea and Port Sudan. And as was previously mentioned, you know, the Russia has been engaged militarily, economically with Sudan for quite some time. Those activities have escalated over the last, well, since the war in Ukraine, because as Russian sanctions have increased, the gold revenues coming from Sudan in the billions of dollars, as the professor mentioned, I mean, these have provided other revenue streams to finance Ukraine's war. So it's also been very important to China, particularly the oil concessions in the Darfur region, where Warchild's had operations now going back 20 years. I mean, I have personally witnessed arms trafficking and other things that have taken place directly linked to Chinese oil concessions in that part of the world. So, and then on top of that, you have a lot of regional players. You've got Libya, you've got Egypt, you've got the Central African Republic and Chad, both of which have experienced a great deal of violence and instability in recent years as well. So Sudan has a very strategic geographic location. It is important economically. It is important in terms of its overall influence within Africa itself. And China and Russia especially have made significant inroads over the last couple of decades.
Professor Madani, we're going to end the conversation here, but I do want to ask, what do you think needs to happen to end this?
I think what needs to happen is what has happened in other African countries with these kind of conflicts. We don't have enough time to go through all of it, but I think that number one, there has to be implementation of a ceasefire. There has to be an intervention on the part of the international community. But given what my colleague just said about the various interests, it has to be coherent and concerted. And I have said, as so many others have said, that these varied interests require really a combination, a coalition, like Secretary Blinken recently said when he announced that he wants to bring partners together. That is the United States, the Gulf countries, which are very much involved, the African Union, IGAD, these are regional bloc countries. But this time it has to be a coherent, concerted, unified kind of intervention. And I would not discount the importance of selective sanctions to these leaders, given the fact that we all know, as my colleague just said, the revenue streams that really finance and fuel those kind of this conflict.
Well, we are thinking about you and so many others, worried about their family, trying to get them out. Thank you both for your insights, Samantha and Professor Madani. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
The pandemic has got most of us used to streaming movies in the comfort of our own homes, but some would like to see that change.
We're designing these things and we're designing the film for the big screen.
Coming up, how Hollywood is trying to reboot the cinema experience. But first,
how hard can it be to log roll?
We are celebrating the remarkable career of Colleen Jones as she heads off to retirement. She's been telling stories and making us laugh for nearly 4 decades.
Is this fireproof?
She got her CBC start back in 1986, the first female sports anchor in Halifax.
Here's the highlight from the 3rd quarter.
From there, she took her talents national.
Oh, yum!
She was a regular for years on the morning show before returning to CBC Nova Scotia to tell local stories in her signature style.
Oh my God!
Never afraid of getting involved.
Can you believe he's letting me drive? Woo!
But of course, Colleen is also a champion curler who's won 6 national championships, 2 world championships, and 1 world senior championship. She's also covered 11 Olympic Games for CBC. She'll be deeply missed, but it's clear she's earned a break, and we wish her all the best. Movie theater owners want you to come back, buy some popcorn, take in the latest blockbuster. But in recent years, they're competing with streaming for your attention, and it has filmmakers and theater owners changing their approach. Eli Glassner takes us to CinemaCon in Las Vegas to look at the future of the big screen experience.
Oh, Jesus. Welcome to CinemaCon, where the movie chains and studios gather to focus on the movie theater experience.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Want your movie seats to go to the next level? This is the place. For 3D glasses for extra effects.
Oh, water. It sprayed me.
Down another floor, Snackland. What would the movies be without popcorn and...
You've engineered hot dogs to take them to the next level?
Oreo-flavored churros, anyone?
Oh my God. It's appropriate the convention takes place here at Caesar's Palace in the heart of Las Vegas because for the past few years, releasing movies into theaters felt like a bit of a gamble. Movie chains went bankrupt. We were home and streaming. But now, the hope here is that the studios are ready to double down on the theatrical experience.
This is a celebration, a genuine celebration. If ever movie theaters were going to disappear, and we've heard for years they will, it was when every theater was closed, a chain went into bankruptcy, we got out of the habit of going to the movies, and even our grandparents learned how to stream.
Behind the flashy posters and displays are a parade of promises from studio chiefs recommitting to making movies for movie theaters. It's a symbiotic relationship. Take The Flash, one of the summer's most anticipated titles. When you watch Batman zooming on a new Batcycle, Oscar-winning production designer Paul Austerberry made that.
This piece here moves, these shields flip up.
Details, he says, best appreciated in a theater.
Yeah, I mean, we're designing these things and we're designing the film for the big screen. I mean, this is a big screen movie-going experience. I mean, I hope most people see it on the big screen.
If we didn't have that movie marketplace and those ticket sales, would you even be able to contemplate something like this?
No, I don't think so. This kind of movie is made for the multiplex. It's made for the big spectacle.
You've never faced anything like this.
And in 2023, spectacle is what the studios are serving.
I just got out of the Warner Brothers presentation at CinemaCon.
Millions follow Julian Green on TikTok for his movie picks. He's still buzzing over a sneak peek of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
It wasn't finished quite yet, but you could just feel the vibe of that movie. The music was incredible.
And Wonka, a prequel about the man who becomes the famous candy maker.
I love Willy Wonka. I love Gene Wilder in that role, and I love Timothée Chalamet. And I like the story of Willy Wonka before he got cynical.
Punch it!
But while the calendar is bursting with sequels and big brand names, audiences haven't flocked back to smaller films like She Said, Tar, or even Ticket to Paradise. Once popular genres, comedy and love stories, are in danger of fading from the big screen.
You want to be able to walk into a movie complex, and most of them are complexes, not single theaters, and see a real variety of movies. Or families can go in and even split up in the lobby.
What's here to stay is streaming. While Apple and Amazon are committing to spending billions on releasing films into theaters this year, the CEO of Netflix said bluntly, driving folks to a theater is just not our business. At CinemaCon, let's say they're taking that in stride.
Fine, stay on TV where no one's watching what you're watching, and let's champion what Apple and Amazon and the studios are doing.
While more needs to be done to carve out places for small stories on the big screen, at a time when many feel divided, movies offer something special.
There's so rare of things that we can do as humans where we all come together and we experience the same emotion in the room, right? Crying, or we're afraid, we're terrified in a quiet place.
Communal experience making a comeback. Eli Glaster, CBC News, Las Vegas.
Now, Eli told us that there was a special guest the last day of the convention in Vegas. Director Martin Scorsese implored theater owners to make space for smaller independent stories alongside those big blockbusters on their screens. Well, he's the first Canadian in history to be named the world's strongest man. We'll find out what he does to keep in shape next. Plus,
I was really happy to see it, of course, but clearly it was a lot more happy to see me.
the iceberg that has everyone talking in our moment.
I'm Alex Panetta. Today, on CBC's daily news podcast Front Burner, President Xi Jinping says he's committed to bringing peace to Ukraine. But is a peace deal really on the table? Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
For the first time ever, a Canadian has been crowned the world's strongest man. You may remember Mitchell Hooper, also known as the Moose, from our moment a few days ago. But tonight, Akwesasne takes us to his home gym in Barrie, Ontario, to relive that big win.
He's 6'3", 320 pounds of pure strength and charm.
I'm wimping out of the pull-ups. As you get bigger, but your strength doesn't increase proportionally.
A hero at his home gym, Athletic Culture in Barrie, where Moose Country is emblazoned on the wall.
How long have you had that nickname, Moose?
I started in Australia, so about 3 years. It's not the most original nickname in the world.
For a Canadian?
28-year-old Mitchell Hooper returns to Barrie as a champion after beating legends of the sport.
You might see me as a big guy, but if you saw me amongst all the strongmen, they're different. Like you'll get guys 6'8", 6'9", 400 pounds, just super shredded.
But what's unique to competing in strongman is it's just you versus the 350-pound Atlas stone. Or you versus the transport truck you gotta pull as far as you can. It takes a certain kind of person to succeed in the competition, a person like Hooper.
Going into the last event, I was 5.5 points up on the reigning world's strongest man, who happens to be the best stone lifter in the world by quite a margin. On that last stone, there's like a total Disney moment where I had the stone in my lap, literally straight over the stone to the right a little bit. It was my fiance, like bent over, like all nervous, got a good grip, and then when it went on the platform, it's almost just total relief. I am the strongest man in the world.
It's a pretty cool title.
Yeah.
But for Hooper, it's about more than that. His life's work as an exercise physiologist is about encouraging people to be their best and healthiest selves.
Now, to become the world's strongest man, I exercise 15 hours a week in the gym. If you boil that down to a more modest goal of I just want to become a healthier version of myself, if you spend 150 minutes a week going out and generally moving, getting your heart rate up a little bit, walking the dogs, doing something you enjoy, you might not become the strongest man in the world, but you'll surely become a healthier version of yourself.
So inspiring. I'm going to go to the gym now.
Akwesasne, CBC News, Barrie, Ontario.
Yes, this is what it looks like. An iceberg just off the coast of Harbour Grace, Newfoundland, with a very particular shape. Pictures of the iceberg have been circulating online and giving everyone a good chuckle. The anatomy lesson, courtesy of Mother Nature, is our moment.
It's a Dickie-berg.
It definitely looks like what people are saying, almost a little bit too graphic.
I've personally never seen anything like it. From the right angle, it appears to replicate certain body parts from a male. I was really happy to see it, of course, but clearly it was a lot more happy to see me. Despite how cold it is, it's going strong. It's a 10,000-year-old sculpted masterpiece.
A lot of people are saying, you can only see the tip. There's a lot more below the water.
There's a few people that are saying it should be the new mascot for Dildo, Newfoundland.
if it had ended up in dildo really, like it just would have broke the internet.
There was a couple posts showing that it seems to have collapsed. So it was going strong for probably about a week, but it looks like it's like 50 feet tall. By far, it's the biggest I've seen. It's the highlight of the season so far.
Oh boy, my mom's watching this show. I don't know what we're going to talk about when I get home, but I remember a particular bush in Windsor that sparked the same kind of reaction about a decade ago. Jimmy Kimmel even talked about it. It was pretty interesting if you want to go look that one up. It seems like Mother Nature is right back at it and has a sense of humor, I guess. That is The National for April 28th. I'm Asha Tomlinson. Have a good night.